Hi, Kate Duffy here from Tipping Point Recovery, where we're doing everything differently. Today, I want to answer a question that comes in very often, probably the top asked question. How do I connect with my loved one when they're in active addiction? I get this question so much, I decided to shoot this video so more and more people could see this answer. How do I connect with my loved one when they're in active addiction? Great question. And what I want to first say is connection is the opposite of addiction. So it's great to connect with people when they're struggling. However, there are certain ways that we might be connecting that are not helpful and even harmful. So first thing I want to ask is it all depends. You want to connect with your loved one. What's your goal? Is your goal to create change? Is your goal to get them to do something? Ask yourself first, what's my intention with connecting with them right now when I want to call them, when I want to go see them? What's your intention? If your intention is to make something happen, catch yourself and bring yourself to a point of wanting to connect for the connection alone. Let go of or suspend temporarily, you can always grab it back, your need or desire to control or change. If you just want to begin to create change around your loved one, around the frequency of addiction, best thing to do is check in with yourself and find the place that just wants to connect heart to heart. So I would hope your goal is to create change. And that's why you're even listening to this video, because we know the opposite of that is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And what is that? That's insanity. And let's just point out for a minute that addiction is that, right? Addiction's doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. We, the alcoholic, when we struggle, we can completely identify with that insanity, that loop. We're going to just try to drink on Tuesdays. Then we try to stop drinking beer and only drink wine. We decide we won't drink alone. We'll only drink with this friend, not that friend. That's us trying to control the drinking. You trying to control the alcoholic from not drinking is the same kind of insanity, right? Here's what we've learned every single day over the last 5 years is that those that live with an alcoholic or are anywhere near an alcoholic for any length of time, I'm going to go out on a limb here and just say it, we're the same. Families have the same addictive loop in trying to change something, and you can't change it. Just like an alcoholic can't stop drinking just by wishing it or thinking it or changing the scenario or changing the people, places, and things. It doesn't work that way. So I want to ask you again, what's your intention? Do you wish to create change? Let me assure you, you can change you. And by you changing you, they will change. Just the simple law of cause and effect. If you're in a dance with someone and you decide to change your feet, they have to change theirs. Okay. So the change can begin with you. And that's what we teach at Tipping Point. So the ways I hear you, many people telling me they connect with their loved one when they're struggling with addiction, in active addiction. Here are some of the ways I hear people connecting. What do you identify with? First question you want to ask yourself is, how do I normally connect? I hear a lot, people trying to understand them, trying to understand addiction so they can convince them, reason with them to get help. If you can just find the thing to say that would be the thing, then you know you would be helping. So that is a perpetual cycle that isn't going to help you. It isn't going to get you where you want to go. Because let's face it, what you're hoping when you keep trying to convince or bargain with, you're hoping one day that your alcoholic will just say, oh, damn, you're right. What am I doing? I'll stop. If it was based on will alone, then that would work, but it doesn't, because it's not based on will. Yelling at them out of frustration or confusion and anger. That might be a way that you've been connecting to date, and you know that doesn't work. It's not good for you, and it's not good for them. Distancing yourself is really common as well, because you just can't take it anymore. Well, that isn't connecting either, though that is very protective of you, and it is advised if you need that distance. But there's a better way. right? Maybe you have a combination of all these ways of connecting. If your goal is really to connect with your loved one, connect heart to heart and create change, the first thing I want you to do is pick a period of time that you're going to test this, right? Because when we create change, when I create change, I like to do it in little experimental stages. If I thought I was going to have to change something for the rest of my life, I wouldn't be as inclined to start. So I want you to pick a period of time. I like to say 72 hours. Okay. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to decide to stop doing anything that you've been doing prior to now that isn't working. There's an idea. Pick a period of time from tonight to 72 hours from now and just say to yourself, I'm going to stop complaining. I'm going to stop pushing. I'm going to stop convincing, bargaining, whatever it is you're doing, decide to stop for 72 hours. Okay. I like to suggest that you write this down, that you're making a commitment. You can write it down here in the comments. You can email me at hello@tippingpointrecovery.com because I want to hear, what are you trying and how's it working for you? You can tell a friend, but I really suggest you write it down and tell someone and try these tips out for 72 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a list, but the first thing you got to do is pick a set period of time, make a commitment, write it down, and you're going to stop everything that you've been doing to this point that isn't working. And you know what those things are because they're not working. I want you to think of your connection as smaller chunks of time, way smaller. We're not talking about 2-hour talks, 3-minute, 5-minute, 1 minute, small chunks. That's what I want initially because you're trying to do something brand new. So small bits of time. I want you to practice not saying what you normally say. Now, saying nothing might just be weird. So let me give you some phrases or statements to use that are disarming. Here are some of my favorites. When I'm practicing stopping saying what I've been saying up until now, because it's not working for me, here are some of the things I do because I have to do something with my hands or my body or my face because it's so new. I might say, okay. That's one of my favorites. HMMMM. What that does is it just stops me in the moment. It lets me make a sound, but I'm not saying the things I'm normally saying. Another one that is an absolute favorite. That might be true. Try that one out in any scenario where you're feeling like you're holding the rope and you're trying to convince or bargain or argue. That might be true. Another one is, okay, I see what you're saying, even if you don't. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. It's disarming, right? You're letting go of the rope. Don't try to rationalize with addiction. If somebody's actively using their inactive addiction, you are trying to rationalize with something that you cannot rationalize with. So just stop trying. That's where a big part of your craziness comes from because you're so frustrated. The next one is, even if you don't believe this, try coming from a place of knowing they don't want this either. Even if you don't believe me, I want you to look at them and feel from your heart when you're looking at them, they hate this. They don't want this life. Try that. Try it for a day or 2 or 3. Again, these are experiments. Notice what comes up for you. Assume they hate it. They can't stop. They're not going to tell you the full truth about it because the addiction's trying to protect itself. Okay? And then I want you to find, this is separate from your conversation with your loved one, but I want you to find the place in you that is struggling. Find the place in you that feels shame about this addiction or feels shame about how you've been approaching it or handling it or feels guilt. Find that place in you that hurts and speak from that place. That place is likely to be your heart. I don't mean the angry place. I mean the place in you that gets it. This is freaking hard. This is life or death. This is not how anyone wants to live. Come from that place when you speak in these few minutes and these small bits of time. You won't be the same. You will connect. Here's another one. Say it all the time, and it has a period at the end. It's only 3 words. I love you. Doesn't need any more words. Actually, there's a great word to put after I love you. I love you and no. I love you and not today. I love you and not now. If you're being asked of anything, just I love you. I'll pray for you. I'm praying for myself. This is hard. This is hard. Yep, this is really hard. I get it. That's it. That's how I'm looking for you for 24, 48, 72 hours to connect with your loved one. That's connection. No convincing, no bargaining, no begging, no yelling, no cutting off. Little bits of connection. I love you. This is hard. Let's do things differently. Right? Okay. So we're doing everything differently here at Tipping Point because the old way isn't working, right? Another statement you can say to them is, I don't have an answer for that right now. I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. That's what I'm wanting you to try. That's how I'm wanting you to connect with someone in active addiction. Very different than what's probably going on right now. So give it a try. Pick a period of time, tell someone, email me, hello@tippingpointrecovery.com and let me know, or put a comment here wherever you're watching this video and start a conversation. Let me help you. Thanks for giving it a try. Watch how you feel. I can't wait to hear how you feel. Next video is going to be a little bit deeper into how you are exactly like them. Oh, sorry, not sorry. But that's the next video I'm going to shoot. How you are just like them. How you are just like a struggling alcoholic or an addict. When you start to come from this place and you learn about that, you can approach it all really differently and you will connect and you will get better and they'll follow.